Alto's head was pounding as he awoke in the dark. Groggy and disoriented, he stirred in the night. Once more, he was back in the old woman's home. He slumped back under a blanket and looked about. A thin stream of moonlight slipped through the window. By that light, he saw something moving about. It was short and covered in long hair. Scuttering around, it mopped and swept the floors. Always it worked on cleaning the place, never stopping or deviating. Jumping on a hook on the potholder, it slurped down a bowl filled with cream. Alto watched in confusion, unsure what this thing was. Was it dangerous or friendly? He didn't know. Welcome to Mythical Phylogeny Adventures. I'm your guide, Jason. Today we meet the Brownie, a strange and bizarre creature. Let's take a look at whether it is friend or foe. The Brownie comes from English and Scottish folklore. You have probably heard of them in the Harry Potter series as the house elf. But they are not elves. Nope. In fact, brownies are a subspecies of goblin, similar to the mechanically inclined gremlins, or the shipwright, clobbered men. But they are sometimes also said to be fairies. I'll get to that in a bit. Brownies are up to 3 feet tall, but usually much smaller, either covered in brown fur or with a tan brown skin color. They will either wear nothing at all or just rags. They have long fingers and large black eyes. Depending on who you ask, they will either live within an unused section of the house or in a nearby cave or waterfall, but have a tendency to claim a house, a barn, or an estate as theirs. They are nocturnal, and while awake, they will clean the house, mopping, sweeping, dusting, clean dishes, even farm labor, the works. They do it all, anything left unfinished. They are the perfect maid and housekeeper. Yet, their work is not free. No, they need a reward. But don't say payment. If you do, you shall insult the Brownie, and it will leave. Usually after creating a mess of your place. Yes, it is imperative that this is a reward. Well, what is it? Place a stool for the Brownie beside the fire that no one else will use, or a small seat is made into the pot hook. This is called a Brownie seat, or a Brownie sway. If not, you can hang a horseshoe upside down to make a seat for the Brownie. Regardless of the chair, beside it, you'll leave a bowl of cream or porridge for the little goblin's reward. Maybe a little beer. And yet, there are tales that the Brownie would rather claim its own reward and not have food left out for it. Of course, not all brownies would agree on what they want. Brownies are proud. When angered, they will play tricks on people, particularly lazy servants. Those that don't take pride in their work. When agitated, insulted, and dishonored, brownies can become malicious, and are even said to be as wicked as a boggart. Though there are some claims that a boggart is just a brownie that's turned bad. But their looks don't match up. Of course, the boggart is said to be a shapeshifter, so hard to say if they are the same or different. Regardless, I'll be going over the boggart next week. Brownies always have names. They may be something like Hairy Meg or Crooked Bill. The name is as much a description as it is a title. Usually, they are solitary, choosing to live alone. But they will meet up from time to time, usually on rocky shorelines. Most are said to be male, but there are several named female ones. Above all else, there is one act which is the greatest of all insults, and that is to give them clothes. Clothes? To them, this is the most insulting thing you can do to them. If you give them clothes, you will never see them again. Now, their origins may date back to ancient Rome with the lairs. These were derived from ancestors and heroic spirits which are found near the hearth. They would help protect the family. So I began by saying that they are goblins and fairies. What do I mean of that? Well, fairy is a catch-all term used to describe a large menagerie of different creatures, ranging from pixies, goblins, elves, gnomes, and even dwarves and banshees. Yeah, there is a lot of range going on here. I mean, you've probably all seen the 1970 Santa Claus is Coming to Town movie by Rankin and Bass, where the elves are short with heavy beards. Like with different takes on dragons, wyverns, and drakes, it is only recently that a real difference emerged in the meaning of the words. For dwarves and elves, it is our good old friend J.R.R. Tolkien who led to the division in the names. As for goblins and fairies, this is harder to tell when. Both words were used from the 12th century onward, with variations to the frequency of usage. Generally, goblin has been associated with being ugly. So what is going on here? I'm sure you've heard of taxonomic rankings. Domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. A series of increasingly more specific groups within biology. So, can we put something like goblins in the genus section? Goblinalia? Well, where would the fairy land? Well, I think they would go in order, which includes things like mammalia, reptiles, avian, and so on. A name could be simply as Fae or Farinidae. That would mean goblins would need a family category. For this, I think it should be impetus, based on the idea of imps. How does that sound? So the proper name for the brownie would be something like Fae, impetus, goblinia, brownus, perhaps? So why does the brownie do the cleaning? What does it gain from it? Yeah, it gets cream and food, but it could easily steal that. So why would they choose the work? A sense of honor and decency, perhaps? Hard to say. Many fairy have been shown to desire other things from humans. Changelings will pass themselves off as human infants to go after human breast milk. Could the brownie be after something similar? Something that they are going after? They clean up dust. And dust comes from dead human skin cells. Could that be it? Or they could just be OCD. I don't know. What do you think? Their large eyes let them see well in the dark, and their long fingers let them handle tools and objects that a human would normally use. Honestly, the idea of a brownie is a dream for people in the medieval era. A little creature which comes in and helps out with only a little bit of food and drink? That would be a godsend for many farmers and their wives, as they work 6 or 7 days a week from sunrise to sunset. No wonder they would think of such an incredible creature. Even after all these centuries, such a simple creature would still be so desirable. The brownie isn't a brawler. It is small and lacks physical strength. This means it isn't a strong fighter. No, the brownie isn't a foe. The worst that they do is pranks. Sure, annoying, but unlikely to hurt you. Most it does is bite cruel people, but it's too small to really hurt. Its bites are described as being like rat teeth. Painful, but not dangerous. Mostly they leave pranks. Nothing major. Things moved about, something falling over on you. Annoying, but not that dangerous. And they only do that to lazy and cruel people. If you are neither, it is even less likely to happen. In a fight, you can use any weapon you want. Sword, spear, bow, all are good. Now, other fairies are susceptible to iron, but the brownie is known to sit on iron pot holders and horseshoes. So iron is only normally effective here. You shouldn't need heavy armor. Just your work clothes should be more than enough to handle this situation. But I wouldn't say no to some armor. Magic is about the same. Fire, ice, lightning are all perfect here. Sure, the brownie is small and agile, but you should have the size advantage. It can run away and dart into narrow areas that you can't get to, go between the floorboards and into the attic. But it is easier than that. There are two ways to get it to leave the house. The first is taking it for granted, disrespecting it, and insulting it. So be rude to it, and it goes away. It might take some time, but it is easy, and you probably won't have to raise a weapon. Or you can do the even easier technique and just give the brownie clothes, a nice suit. I know it seems like kindness to many. I mean, you see this little creature dressed in rags, and you just want to do something nice, as giving them clothes to keep them warm. But no, to Brownie, this is the highest of all insults. Why would a proud brownie want to hide their appearance? Literally, if you want to get rid of a brownie, pull your sock off and give it to the brownie, and you are done. Sort of. The brownie may throw a temper tantrum and make a mess, but you can clean up the mess. Yeah, it'll be work, but nothing more. Of course, there is a risk of it becoming a boggart, and we'll address that next week. Honestly, this should be an easy fight, and I am giving the brownie a 1 of 10 for difficulty. You should be able to win this without even drawing a weapon or donning your armor. But the real question is, why? Why are you fighting the brownie? The brownie is a great housekeeper. You got a dirty home? Recruit a brownie. Churn butter, dust, mop, windows, vacuuming. The brownie can handle it all. They work at night, when they won't be in your way, and you are out of theirs. Sure, they have a tendency to be noisy, which can be bad, but is it worth it? For a lot of people, I'd say yes. I know, I am horrible at vacuuming and dusting enough. Having a brownie on hand would make life much easier, and all it would cost me is some cream and porridge, and whatnot, to reward him for hard work. This sounds like an incredible deal, so long as you don't insult the brownie, right? So, how can we recruit a brownie into your home? Let's make it inviting to one. Have a chair or stool ready for one. Hang a horseshoe for one to sit in, and leave a little housework unfinished. They aren't known for talking to humans too often, so you can't really go around and ask for one to come along. It will be tricky, but not impossible to recruit one. Brownies are loyal. They appear in many stories. They have helped their poor sick mistresses get medicine by traveling alone into the night and other such feats. Once a brownie comes into a house, it may stay for generations, both its and the humans. There are stories of a brownie staying with a family for centuries. Truly, the brownie is a great asset to any household, and one that just about anyone would want to befriend. What is that? Alto blurted out. What kind of devil is that? The bar's accusation startled the little brownie. It let out a little yelp and darted about, throwing flour about. Alto coughed on the powder as the brownie vanished from sight. Alto jumped up and looked about at the neat house. Only the flour dotted the floor and surfaces. Save for that, it was spotless, and and everything was neatly organized. As he sat down, the brownie watched him, angry at what the bard had called him. The brownie is a fun little creature. Definitely something that would be nice to be around the house. What do you think? Would you love to bring a brownie into your home? Thank you for watching, adventurers. Please come back next week for the boggart. Until then, I'll see you on the roads.